I'm Melissa.
I'm Chris Fernandez.
I'm Rocco Fernandez.
And Rocco was diagnosed when he was 5 months old with X-linked CGD. And he had 2 prior infections. He had an infected lymph node and he had a liver abscess. At that time, the doctors here were from New Orleans, so the doctors here at Ochsner conducted the NBT test on him and they diagnosed him with CGD. At that time, they talked about possible prophylactic medications that he could take, and then the ultimate, they said the only cure was a bone marrow transplant at that time. We have a daughter named Layla. She was 6 at the time and was tested, and she was not a match. And they looked through the registry for a bone marrow match, and because of our different ethnicities, there was no bone marrow match in the registry. So at that time, we were looking at the only option was a cord blood transplant. So we researched all the hospitals across the United States that the names we were given by Ochsner, and we went to Duke, and they are the leading hospital for cord blood transplants. So we had an appointment with them, and we decided at that point that we wanted to go ahead and try the cord blood transplant. So shortly after that, when he was a year, after he made a year, we moved to Duke for 7 months and had his cord blood transplant done. And he did very well. We were able to come home 7 months later and have care here in New Orleans. And there were lots of bumps in the roads with post-recovery. But he did very, very well. And today he is 5 years post-transplant. And he is in school. He is going to first grade. And he is on no medications. He is living a normal, healthy life. And we do his normal yearly checkups, and that's about it for him and his story. Do you want to add anything, Chris?
Yeah, now that he's recovered, we began sports, which he couldn't do before. He loves baseball, which we have a game tonight. Prior to that, we were playing basketball, so he's getting back to some normal activities that he prior couldn't do.
Yes.
That's right. And now we're
really
practicing his skills, throwing, honing in some other skills. So,
Yeah, so he's done really, really well. It's been a very
I can say something.
okay, hold on. Let me tell him about your journey. It's been a very long and hard journey, and I know a lot of parents are thinking about BMT or stem cell transplant for their child. We know it's a very, very hard decision to make. And it's probably one of the hardest decisions that we've ever had to make.
the hardest.
For our child. And now that he's great, of course, we're so happy that we've done it, and we are so blessed, but we realize how hard it is, and you need to find a good facility, a good team of doctors to help you make that decision. You need a good support group, and you just need to have a plan for your family if you want to make that decision, and speak to parents. That's where we learned a lot, is from parents that have gone through the transplant, and what did they think. And it's really the parents that helped out a lot. The doctors can give you all the information, but it's real life situations, and that's why we are here at the conference today in New Orleans, because we want to help other parents and let them know about his journey and going through the stem cell transplant and how well he did, and just to give hope that there is a cure for CGD, and that he's doing really well. So
It's, and
Oh, we can do the book. The book. Remember the zebra?
yeah, the zebra book, yes, because you are a zebra. Yes, we'll read that later. But
so, and then the decision before transplant was based for us on his case,
Right.
which everyone's case is going to be different.
Right.
But for our situation, we were to the point where we felt it needed to be done.
Right.
So I know a lot of people are leaning towards prophylactics at the medicines at the moment.
My eyes.
Okay.
He's steady speaking.
Which I believe is wonderful. But the point that Rocco was at, we felt better for us to go through a transplant. And the research and speaking to the parents, as Melissa said, was the best thing for us to get information so that we could make an educated decision. Otherwise, we felt, in the dark for a while until we really did our research and made those connections with other parents and families and the different doctors at different facilities.
And we feel so grateful that IDF has this now. Like, we did not even know what CGD was. We've never heard of it. I found out at that time I had been having lupus-like symptoms my entire life, but I'd never tested positive for lupus until they diagnosed Rocco. They said, do you have any lupus-like symptoms? And I was like, yes. And I found out that I was a carrier. And coming to the conference today, I've learned, I didn't think I was going to learn so much about carriers and their health. And that's really been eye-opening as well for me and my health. So we're just so thankful that IDF has put this on. We're so glad it's in our hometown and that we've learned a lot and that maybe we could give a little bit of hope or a little bit of advice to other parents.
You want to add anything, Rocco?
I don't know.
Say who dat?
Who dat?